What if I told you there's an alarm clock inside your body right now? It doesn't beep, it doesn't ring, but it goes off every single night. You don't hear it with your ears, you feel it. You feel it when you wake up at 2 a.m., begin at 4 a.m., pulled out of deep sleep by that familiar, frustrating pressure. You feel it when you're standing over the toilet, waiting for a stream that once was strong and steady, but now hesitates like it's second-guessing itself. You feel it in that quiet frustration when it seems like the job is never fully done. Gentlemen, that silent alarm is your prostate. For too long, men over 60 have been told to just snooze it, to accept these interruptions as part of aging, as though broken sleep, constant urgency, and weak flow are simply the price you pay for your years. But let me be very clear, that is not a medical explanation. That is dismissal disguised as advice. And if you've ever felt dismissed by your symptoms, you're not alone. This channel is called Elder Care Insights, and I'm Dr. Alan Rivera. For over 30 years, I've worked with men just like you, men who thought their best nights and strongest days were behind them, men who thought the alarm clock couldn't be shut off. And I'm here to tell you it can. Today, we're going to have an honest conversation. No miracle pills, no promises of instant cures. Instead, we'll talk about 3 foundational daily habits. Habits so small you might shrug them off, but so powerful they can change the way you sleep, the way you feel, and the way you live. Because the man you remember, the man with confidence, energy, and strength, he's still there. He's just waiting for the right instructions. Before we can fix the alarm, we need to understand what's setting it off. And the best way to do that is with a simple picture. I want you to imagine a garden hose running right through the middle of a donut. That hose is your urethra, the channel that carries urine out of your bladder. The donut, that's your prostate. When you were younger, that donut was small, about the size of a walnut. The hose had plenty of space, so water, your urine, flowed freely with force and confidence. But as the years pass, natural hormonal changes tell that donut to grow. Slowly, almost silently, it expands. For many men, it can reach the size of a lemon or even an orange. And as it expands, it does what donuts do best. It takes up space. It squeezes the garden hose. That squeeze is what weakens your stream. That squeeze is what makes you stand there waiting, struggling to get started. That squeeze is what tricks your bladder into feeling like it's never empty, forcing you to keep coming back. This condition has a name: benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. Benign means it's not cancer. But don't let that word fool you. Just because it's not life-threatening doesn't mean it isn't life-changing. It steals your sleep. It steals your confidence. It steals your peace of mind. But here's the good news. There are ways to ease that pressure on the hose. No surgery, no complicated regimens, just small, strategic habits that restore balance. Let's start with the first one. I know what you might be thinking. Doctor, you still really going to tell me water is the big solution? Yes, but not the way you think. You see, most men make 2 big mistakes with hydration. The first mistake, they don't drink enough water at all. As we age, our sense of thirst weakens, and many men live in a constant state of low-grade dehydration. That dehydration makes your urine darker, thicker, more concentrated, and that concentrated urine is like sandpaper on the lining of your bladder and prostate. It irritates. It inflames. It makes you feel the urge more often and more urgently. The second mistake, they drink at the wrong time. Maybe you've been told to drink more water, so you chug glass after glass in the evening. The problem, all that water rushes straight to your bladder while you're trying to sleep. The result, more bathroom trips, not fewer. So what's the fix? It's what I call strategic hydration. Here's how it works. Start your morning with a large glass of water. Wake up your system. Flush it clean. Keep a bottle nearby during the day and sip steadily. Think of your body like a garden. It doesn't thrive when it's flooded once. It thrives when it's watered gently and consistently throughout the day. But here's the key. 2 to 3 hours before bed, you stop. You put the water bottle away. You give your body time to process what you've already had, so by the time you lie down, your bladder is as empty as possible. It sounds almost too simple, but the results, powerful. One large-scale study found that men who followed this exact hydration pattern reduced nighttime bathroom trips by a staggering 41%. Think about that. If you're up 4 times a night, that could mean cutting it down to 2. If you're up twice, it could mean sleeping straight through until morning. Then it's not just about sleep, it's about quality of life. With diluted urine, your bladder and prostate are calmer, less irritated. With fewer trips at night, your body gets the deep, restorative sleep it needs. Your mood, your energy, your focus the next day, all of it improves. So yes, it is about water, but it's also about wisdom. When you hydrate strategically, you're not just drinking, you're managing your body's rhythms with intelligence. And once you master this first habit, you'll be ready for the next one, because hydration alone won't keep the blood moving through your prostate the way it needs to. For that, we turn to something even simpler, something you can do in the time it takes to brew a cup of coffee. Let's move on to the second daily habit. And I'll be honest, this one might surprise you. After a meal, especially dinner, most men do the same thing. They sit down. Maybe you watch the news, maybe you read a book, maybe you flip through your phone or catch up on a favorite show. It feels natural, it feels earned. But for your prostate, that post-meal rest is one of the worst things you can do. Why? 2 reasons. First, circulation. When you sit for long stretches, blood in your lower body becomes stagnant. That includes your pelvic region, the very place your prostate lives. Like every other organ, your prostate needs fresh, oxygen-rich blood to stay healthy and to keep inflammation down. Stagnant blood is like a swamp. It breeds problems. Second, blood sugar. A heavy meal causes a spike in your blood sugar, and research is clear. Chronic high blood sugar is one of the biggest drivers of inflammation and prostate enlargement. Inflammation is fuel for the very fire you're trying to put out. So, what's the solution? It's shockingly simple. A 10 to 15-minute gentle walk after your largest meal of the day. Notice what I didn't say. I didn't say power walk. I didn't say jog. I didn't say exercise like you're training for the Olympics. This isn't about intensity. It's about rhythm. It's about gently activating the large muscles in your legs, which act like pumps, literally pushing blood back up through your body, refreshing the circulation in your pelvis, and sending more oxygen to your prostate. And here's the second benefit. That same walk helps your body use the sugar from your meal for energy. Instead of letting it linger in your blood, this prevents those sharp spikes and the inflammatory aftermath they create. Think about that. In just 10 minutes, you're tackling two of the biggest enemies of your prostate: stagnation and inflammation. Don't just take my word for it. A study from the University of Sao Paulo tracked men who took short, gentle walks after dinner. The result? They reported 35% fewer symptoms of prostate enlargement compared to those who stayed seated. That's not wishful thinking, that's measurable, life-changing improvement from one tiny change. And here's the beauty of it. A walk after dinner isn't just good for your prostate. It's good for your digestion. It's good for your blood sugar. It's good for your heart, your mood, your sleep. It's the kind of habit that pays dividends across your entire health. So, the next time you set your fork down after a meal, resist the urge to sink into the chair. Instead, stand up, step outside, and take those few quiet minutes for yourself. You don't have to go far. Walk down the street, circle your yard, stroll around the block. The point isn't distance. The point is movement. Because with every step, you're not just walking off your dinner, you're walking toward better nights, stronger days, and a healthier prostate. But maybe you're still skeptical. Maybe you're still thinking, "Doctor, you're still telling me water and walking are the secrets? That sounds too simple." That's exactly what one of my patients thought. Let me tell you his story. His name, for privacy, will change. We'll call him Leonard. Leonard was a 71-year-old retired woodworker, a craftsman. His workshop was his sanctuary, the place where his hands turned raw wood into rocking chairs, tables, and cabinets that would last for generations. Creating was his joy. It was the thing that made him feel alive. But BPH was stealing that joy. The constant pressure in his bladder meant he couldn't stay at his workbench for more than an hour without having to run to the bathroom. Nights were worse. Sleep was chopped into fragments. His energy was gone. And because he was tired, the hobby that had once filled him with pride now filled him with frustration. When I suggested he start with 2 habits, hydration, timing, and post-meal walks, he actually laughed. He said, "Doctor, that sips it, that sounds too simple. Don't sit, I need some kind of medicine or procedure." And I told him something I've told countless men. Leonard, the most powerful solutions are often the simplest, but they only work if you give them the respect of consistency. To his credit, Leonard was disciplined. He took the advice seriously. He started sipping water steadily through the day, cutting it off 2 hours before bed. He committed to a short walk after dinner every night, even if it was just around the block. A month later, he came back to my office, and I'll never forget the look on his face. He stood taller. His voice carried more strength. He told me something remarkable. For the first time in years, he was sleeping 4 to 5 hours straight without waking up. That alone gave him energy he hadn't felt in decades. But then he shared the moment that really mattered. He said, "Doctor, last Saturday, I spent the entire afternoon in my workshop. I built a rocking chair for my new granddaughter. I didn't even think about the bathroom once. I didn't feel trapped in my body. I felt free again." His eyes welled up. His voice cracked. And then he said words I'd still never forget. "I didn't just get my workshop back, Dr. Rivera. I got a piece of myself back." That's what these habits can do. They're not just about less irritation or fewer bathroom trips. They're about restoring the parts of your life you thought were gone. They're about giving you back the energy, focus, and joy you thought you'd lost forever. Leonard's story is a reminder that small, consistent steps can lead to big transformations. He wasn't just walking after dinner. He was walking back into his own life. And yet, there was one more piece of the puzzle, a habit most men never hear about, but one that modern science tells us may be the most important of all. It's sensitive, it's personal, but it could be the final key to protecting your prostate and reclaiming your health. Now, gentlemen, I need to be direct with you. This third habit is the one most men never talk about, and the one most doctors rarely bring up. But the science is too compelling to ignore. It's about maintaining a healthy ejaculation rhythm. For decades, men have been fed myths about this topic. Some of you were raised hearing that too much sexual activity would weaken you, wear you out, or even shorten your life. Others grew up with layers of shame around natural desires, told it was something to suppress, not embrace. But here's what modern research reveals. Those old myths are not just wrong. They're the opposite of the truth. Regular ejaculation, whether through intimacy with a partner or through self-care, appears to protect the prostate. Why? The leading explanation is something researchers call the flushing system hypothesis. Inside your prostate are countless microscopic tubes constantly producing fluid. If that fluid sits for too long, it stagnates. Old cells, proteins, and inflammatory byproducts build up. That stagnation may create an environment where problems can fester, including irritation and even disease risk. Ejaculation clears those tubes. It flushes the system, washes out stagnant material, and refreshes the environment. Think of it like turning on the faucet in an old house. You don't want rusty water sitting in the pipes. You want the water to flow, to stay clean. And this isn't just theory. It's backed by one of the most comprehensive studies ever conducted. Researchers at Harvard University followed nearly 32,000 men for almost 2 decades in what's called the Health Professionals Follow-Up Study. Their findings were stunning. Men who ejaculated 21 or more times per month had up to a 33% lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to men who only ejaculated 4 to 7 times. Think about that. 1/3 lower risk simply by maintaining a natural rhythm of release. Now, let me be clear. This is not about chasing numbers. No man should feel pressured to meet a quota. That can create stress and anxiety, which is counterproductive. The message isn't about a specific frequency, it's about regularity. Consistency matters more than counting. And here's something else important. The research shows the source doesn't matter. Whether it happens with a partner, through intimacy, or in the privacy of your own self-care, the protective benefits are the same. This can be incredibly empowering for many men, especially those who are widowed, divorced, or whose partners face health challenges. It reframes something natural from a place of uncertainty or shame into one of proactive, preventive health care. For years, society told men, your desires made you weaker. Today, science tells us the truth. Your body is designed for regular release, and your prostate thrives when you honor that rhythm. And when you combine this with hydration and movement, the impact multiplies. So, let's just step back and bring this all together. 3 daily habits, simple, uncomplicated. but profoundly effective when practiced with consistency. Strategic hydration. Drink water steadily through the day. Stop a few hours before bed. You soothe your bladder, dilute irritation, and cut nighttime bathroom trips. The post-meal walk. Just 10 to 15 minutes after your largest meal. You pump fresh circulation through your pelvis, lower blood sugar spikes, and reduce inflammation. Healthy ejaculation rhythm. Regular release, not forced or measured, but consistent. You keep the internal machinery flushed, clean, and refreshed. Think of these three not as isolated tricks, but as parts of a system, a blueprint for prostate protection. Hydration calms the irritation. Walking fuels the blood supply. Regular release keeps the pipes clear. Each habit supports the others, creating a foundation of health that protects your prostate, restores your sleep, and helps you reclaim the energy you thought was gone. And more importantly, they put you back in the driver's seat. Too often, men feel like passive victims of aging, like their best days are behind them. But these habits prove otherwise. They show you can take action, intelligent, proactive, daily action that makes a real difference. You move from being a man at the mercy of his symptoms to being the CEO of your own health. And gentlemen, that shift from passive to active, from victim to leader, that is one of the most powerful medicines there is. But before we close, there's something else we must discuss. Because as powerful as these habits are, they don't replace professional care. There are moments when you must see a doctor. There are red flags you cannot ignore. Now, I need to be crystal clear. These three daily habits are powerful. They can reduce symptoms, restore sleep, and dramatically improve quality of life. But they are not a replacement for professional medical care. There are certain warning signs you must never ignore. These are what I call the red flag signals that something more serious may be happening. If your urinary symptoms suddenly worsen out of nowhere, don't brush it off. If you experience pain or burning during urination, that could point to infection or inflammation. If you notice blood in your urine or semen, that is a warning sign that requires immediate attention. And perhaps the most urgent, if you ever reach the point where you simply cannot urinate at all, that is a medical emergency. Gentlemen, listen to me. Do not try to tough it out. Do not wait weeks thinking it will pass. Do not let pride or fear keep you silent. These are the moments when your strength is not in pretending nothing is wrong, but in picking up the phone and seeing your doctor. An open, honest conversation with a physician is not weakness, it's wisdom, it's leadership. It's doing what needs to be done so you can continue being there for the people who count on you. Your body is not betraying you. It's sending you signals, and learning which signals to handle at home with good habits and which require professional care, that is the art of true self-mastery. So remember this: hydration, movement, and rhythm build your foundation. But medical guidance is the safeguard that ensures you stay on solid ground. Let's just bring this home. If you've been struggling with sleepless nights, constant interruptions, or the quiet frustration of weak flow, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not broken. What you're experiencing is not weakness, it's feedback. Feedback from a body that has served you faithfully for decades. A body asking for a new kind of support as you move into this stage of life. And now, you know how to give it that support. 3 daily habits. Simple, consistent, life-changing. Drink water wisely. Walk after meals. Maintain a healthy rhythm of release. These are not gimmicks. They are not fads. They are your prostate protection blueprint, the foundation on which better nights, stronger days, and restored confidence are built. And here's the bigger truth. It's not just about your prostate. It's about your identity, about reclaiming the strength, focus, and presence you thought had slipped away, about realizing that you are not done. You are not finished. You are still the man who worked hard, who provided, who stood strong, and you always will be. You've spent a lifetime showing up for others. Now it's time to show up for yourself. So I want to leave you with a question, and I'd like you to answer it in the comments, because your words may inspire another man watching this right now. What would it mean for you to get a full, uninterrupted night of sleep? Would it mean energy to play with your grandchildren? The focus to get back into your workshop, your garden, or your hobbies? The strength to travel with confidence? Whatever your answer, write it down below. We read every single comment, and your story may be the one that gives another man hope. And if this conversation resonated with you, if you believe in this mission of honest, empowering health advice for men, I invite you to join us here at Elder Care Insights. Click subscribe, share this video with a brother or a friend who may be suffering in silence, and help us spread the word that aging is not the end, it's simply a new chapter. As always, remember, the information provided here is for education. It's not a substitute for your physician's advice. Every man's body is unique, and the doctor who knows your history is the one best equipped to guide you. But what you can do, starting tonight, is take action. Not for the man you were, but for the man you still are. Because you are not broken. You are rebuilding. You haven't lost your strength. It's been waiting for the right kind of attention. Be well, be strong, and may tonight be the beginning of quieter nights and brighter mornings.